Coach Sullivan here again with MJS Coaching Football. My subscribers, I thank you. Non-subscribers, I'm hoping I can tease you into pushing that button. Excuse me. This past fall, I completed my 38th year coaching football, and I was a defensive coordinator. But over that time, I've also been an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, longtime head coach, and all of this at both the collegiate and high school levels. What I'd like to talk to you about in this presentation is from our 3-4, what we call college, okay? Which, as you'll see, it's a front specific to an empty set, okay? And we're going to execute what we call rams, right? So this is the NFL code, which means it's a man pressure versus empty, okay? So it's versus 10 personnel, 3x2. First thing I'll do is go over the key terms so you understand, how we get lined up and what our rules are, and then also how we execute rams and what rams is. It's a blitz we already have. I'm not a big believer in creating something totally new just for this particular situation. Let's do things that we're already comfortable with, okay? Up top, it's going to be versus 3 receivers to our left, and on the bottom, 3 receivers to our right. Empty Liz, empty Rip, okay? So the first key term that we have is the front. This is why we call it college. The front is a fixed 6-man box from left to right, as you'll see. Okay, so it's not any other front that we have in our system, 3-4 system. Okay, this is specifically tailored for an empty formation. Okay, you can use it versus like an 11 formation or even possibly a 12 empty formation. But I'm showing it to you versus 10. I think it's best versus 10, and why you'll see when I go through the diagram. Okay, so then that takes care of the 6. Number 2, our dime, field corner, and free safety, they travel together. Now, I'm not going to get into motion and shifting. This is if the offense just lined right up and empty, okay? They travel together to the lizard rip, which is either the 3 or the 4 receiver side, if it were 4x1, okay? So then the only 2 guys left, number 3, are whip or weak safety and boundary corner. They go opposite the lizard rip, so to either the 2 or the 1 receiver side, okay? So that's how we get lined up, and I'll explain it over here when I get to the diagram. Number 4, what rams is it's what we call a Rover and Mike combo blitz, and it's a ram stick that's been tweaked a little bit. Okay, Ram, Rover, and Mike. It's a paired named combo. Okay, they execute it no matter what. All right? So the coverage in number 5 is what we call jack. Okay, it's one of our man coverages. Typically, it's for a 5-man pressure, which this is. Okay, and it's got somebody in the middle. Okay? And then the alignment number 6, I'm going to go over in the diagram over here. Okay? So, up top, we call it empty Liz because this is what we call gun Toledo empty, which makes it a 5 wide receiver formation, and it's in the middle of the field. So when 3 receivers are to the left, 2 to the right, we empty Liz. Okay? So now the dime, the field, and the free go to the 3 receivers. The dime apex is 2 and 3, and his toes on the heels of the defensive end. The field corner is going to end up 1x3 Ike inside leverage on number 1. So post snap, he's going to move inside. And the free safety is going to be 1x8 Ike on number 3. So field corner has 1, dime has 2, free safety has number 3. Okay? Up front, going left to right. The end is always in a 5. The backer is always walked up on the line of scrimmage in a B-split on the guard, stays in his regular stance. We tell him, get your toe even with the toes of the nose so you're not off sides. Nose is a 1 shade left. Stud is a 3 shade on the right. Rover is a 5 shade in his stand-up 2-point stance on the right. And the mic is 4 yards, head up on the tackle. That's our fixed 6-man box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, left to right. Okay? So I'm going to get to the rat call in a second. Rams is always a Ringo, right? Rover and Mike are always on the right. Over here, the alignments, corners are the same. He's going to end up stemming on the snap. 1x3 Ike, he's got number 1. Whips a little bit tighter. 1x6 Ike on number 2, he's got number 2. Okay? So yeah, we are tipping our hand a little bit by being up tighter. This is one that we'd be likely to run in our own red zone goal line area for that reason. Okay, if we were to run this blitz anywhere else in the field, they start at their regular alignments and then walk up just prior to the snap to answer that question. Okay, so before I get to the rat call, here is Rams. Okay, the NFL team Rams. Okay, the tweak on Ram stick, it's a Ringo, so the stud would stick A gap, but he's already in a 3, so now it's just a 1 gap reduction, but that puts him in A gap anyway, which would put the nose in his A gap, which it does. The defensive end, speed rushing, okay? The rover, speed and race, speed and race. So it's a tweak to the go, okay? 9 subscribers. And then the mic, there is no delay. On the snap of the football, he's plugging the B gap. So there is your 5-man pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So that leaves us with the backer. What is meant by a rat call? Remember, jack coverage. It's man with somebody in the middle. So hence, man free. Okay? On the snap of the football, what essentially this means is the backer is always dropping away from the lizard rip. Okay, he's dropping away from it. So, excuse me. When it's a rat call, that means it's an empty Liz. Remember, this is fixed, left and right. So on the snap of the football, he's dropping into the middle. He's not going to be real deep, but he's the middle defender. He's a zone guy reading the quarterback. Okay, that's what's meant by the rat call. Now, the best part about the college front, all 5 offensive linemen are covered. They got to make some protection changes, and that's why we do it. Okay? So now down here, when it becomes empty rip, first thing is now, right, the blitz stays the same. Okay? So now, right, remember, the backer always drops away from the Liz or rip. It's Liz, it's a rat call. It's rip, he's going to bump out, and he's got number 2. Because the whip becomes the middle third guy. Okay, that gives us the jack coverage. Free, dime, and field all stay the same. Okay, boundary stays the same. Everything stays the same. That's the beautiful part of this. Okay, so this is how we execute college Rams, our fixed 6-man box, left to right. That's the simple tweak. That's how we teach it. Backer rotate away from the Liz or rip. So when it's Liz, you're the rat. When it's rip, you got number 2. Because now the whip is going to be the deep guy. So that in and of itself is a little bit of a different look for the quarterback. Okay? So as I said at the beginning to my subscribers, I thank you, non-subscribers. I'm hoping I teach you to pushing that button. Excuse me. To everybody, please reach out to me, Coach MJ Sullivan at gmail.com. I love to hear from you and talk football. I want to thank you for watching MJS Coaching Football, and I want to thank YouTube for providing this platform.